Most readers attempt to identify the suffering servant by starting in the most famous chapter of prophecy, Isaiah 53. But while that chapter details the outcome of the story, it leaves the central identity a mystery. Isaiah 53 describes the effect, but the cause lies upstream. We have to look at the identity vocabulary of Isaiah 48 to find the actor behind the actions. Stepping directly into chapter 53 is like walking into closing arguments without hearing the opening statement. We have to examine the initial case file to know who is actually on trial. The speaker in Isaiah 48 opens with a specific phrase, I am he, or in Hebrew, ani hu. This functions as bench-restricted legal vocabulary, a declaration the Hebrew Bible reserves strictly for the ultimate judge. Following this declaration, the speaker maintains absolute ownership of his authority. He says, I have called him, I bring him, I prosper his way. He never pauses to hand off these verbs to a deputy or an assistant. The text proceeds to disqualify every other candidate in the room. Idols lack the capacity to speak. The nations are the objects of the speech, not the source. Israel is the addressed party, and the prophets always cite a higher authority rather than speaking as the source itself. With every exit closed, the judge remains as the sole exclusive declarant. This singular authority creates a massive structural paradox for the verses that follow. Suddenly, a second performer appears to execute the judge's pleasure. In any other legal context, authority requires a specific mechanism to move from one party to another, a grant, a commission, or a contract. Here, the text provides no transfer of authority. The singular voice from the previous verses suddenly claims to be sent by the Lord God, accompanied by the Spirit. Within one breath, the text occupies three distinct positions: sender, sent one, and Spirit. This breaks the standard rules of the Hebrew Bible. Human beings receive the Spirit, they are filled or anointed by it, but no human is ever described as being sent with the Spirit as a co-traveler. The text leaves this structural impossibility unresolved. One exclusive voice is occupying three positions simultaneously, creating a tension that no available category can yet hold. Ancient readers could see these elements, but they lacked the categories to bind them together. Concepts like substitutionary death and resurrection existed only as promises or legal potential. None had yet been executed in history. Think of these promises as an 8-count legal docket. Only when we reach the events following Isaiah 53 does the docket close. The representative occupies the curse, undergoes death, and survives it. This historical execution provides a new framework for reading. It allows us to look back at the impossible grammar of Isaiah 48 and finally make sense of how a singular identity can stand in plural relation. The meaning was present from the beginning. It simply required the category system to catch up to the text. Once every other candidate is eliminated, only one category remains: one divine substance held in plural relation. This specific relation is forged through the office of the representative, the figure sent to stand for the many. Once that office is discharged through death and resurrection, the text applies a new relational label, the Son. The existence of the Son identifies the origin position as the Father. These function as jurisdictional titles for the sender and the sent. The dramatic answers of Isaiah 53 only become visible when you sit with the question Isaiah 48 refuses to let go of. The text forces us past the suffering to confront the unbreakable legal chain that put the judge on the stand.